This is beautiful. Well, Yolanda, I'm so glad you're here. So we're going to kick off our podcast today. I am Violet Nwokea, and this is my good friend, my co-host today, Yolanda Kaup.
Hello.
Hello. Yolanda, welcome.
Thank you.
This is our very first podcast together.
Yes, it's one of many conversations that we've had.
Yes. Oh, boy, have we had conversations. Yeah. And today is no exception, right? Where we've had some deep conversations, just talking about what's going on around us.
Yeah, I think we're all in the midst of getting reorganized and restructured and, emphasizing the things that we really want in our life and moving forward from wherever this last year has taken us. So.
Right. And, as we were talking before, I said, let's turn this into podcast because sometimes we have these conversations. Yes, we both benefit from it. We both learn from it. But it's good to also share it, especially to our children, our friends, or those who may know us, right?
Right, because I think that we have a lot in common, a lot of similar kind of ideas that, we express in a different way. And when we share that, it just enhances it for me.
For us. Yeah, at least for us, right? Just talking about, I was telling you that I studied applied math and that has led me, even before I did the studying of that, I've always seen life at not just saying stuff, but applying those things that we're saying in our life. It makes more sense to me, right?
Yes, and that just struck a chord with me because I know a little bit about you, and I know that you have a sensitive nature, and that's a nice way to complement that and to bring those ideas and concepts into something that is real,
right,
and in your life, and you get to participate in the wonderful part of those things that we sometimes just idealize and we don't actually use it. And so I just thought those two concepts, because they're kind of opposing concepts, and yet it's what we all are striving to do, is to integrate things and incorporate things that enhance the inner nature of who we are. So that just is why I mentioned that opposing concept.
I like the way you describe it because you really describe the astrology very well. Each time I talk to you and you describe the astrology, I learn so much from you. And you know how to break it down that it makes sense.
That's exactly what it is for, everybody needs to have it at that level. And that's why so many people now are interested in it, I think. But it's not about what somebody else thinks about it. It's how you integrate it again,
into your own life,
into,
right?
Who you do recognize yourself as. And if it strikes that chord, then the rest of it starts to make better sense.
Right. Makes sense. It makes more sense when you're able to, take, there are so many views out there, and when you're open, I'm always open to hear the different views that are out there.
Yeah, it's a great learning process,
right?
If nothing else, if you're learning astrology or you're learning math, you're going to be forever learning,
right?
And that everybody who is in those fields have come to their own set way,
of seeing things.
Right. And so if they can impart a little bit of knowledge that triggers your curiosity to learn how to apply it for yourself, then it's really something of value. Otherwise, it's just, it's called hearsay.
Right. Or just theory. You're just saying it, but it doesn't really,
It's not applicable for your life until you start doing it for yourself. It's no different than yoga. You can go watch somebody do it.
But if you don't do it yourself and really the benefit.
And see the benefit.
Right.
And find a benefit for you
Right.
in it. Or learn how to incorporate it in your daily routine.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's a 2-hour yoga thing or a 5-minute yoga thing. If
Right.
it works for you,
Then
it's a good thing.
yes, I agree. So I know we've talked about so many different topics today. One of the topics that I want to talk about, I was telling you that, of course, with my kids, I share a lot of things with them from my experience, right? I try to share with them so that they will know who I am and all that stuff. And one of the ones is that actually yesterday we discovered that when we travel, some of the kids discover, oh, I can do this by myself. So yesterday, we found out that one of the twins were cooking, making Nigerian food. And this is the food that I've taught her, that she told me she wanted me to make an authentic stew for her. And when I will make it authentically the way she wants me to, she loves it. But sometimes I change it to make it how I like it, and she doesn't like it. So when we left, coming from Northern California to South, I called and she's making it the authentic way.
Oh.
And I said, wow, this is power, cooking power, empowering your children or the young people or people around you to know that, they can do whatever they want the way they want it, instead of just giving me, the mother, the power to make it for her. Sometimes I make it the way I like it. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I don't like it that way. I go, then go make it the way you want. I've taught you now. Now you go figure it out. But Father, that as long as I'm there, she wouldn't make it.
Right.
But immediately I left, she realized I have the power of cooking. I know how to do this. I can drive. I can go buy my own thing.
The independence.
The independence of that. So we came up with the word powers. What are all the powers that are out there for us, both men and women, but especially women, right? What are all the powers that are there that we do not tap into? So we started saying, well, cooking power is one of them. It's good to always know how to cook, learn from other people, and cook.
Yeah, our independence is our power.
Right.
And so as a mom or raising children, you want to give them both sides of that. You've got to give them the independent side and the freedom that goes with that.
True.
And the protection of getting them there. So the nurturing part in the early years is what really creates. Important. I think that's what creates their ability to be independent.
Right.
So cooking power, it goes way beyond the cooking power. It's the power to speak up.
Right.
When you just being able to speak up and say, but I like it this way.
This way, yeah.
Is a big, important step for being able to hear them say that is
so that's rewarding. A speaking power.
That's, I think, where we're all at right now.
Speaking power.
We all have that one available, and sometimes it needs encouragement or it needs to be taught.
Right. I'll be set in an environment that supports that.
Especially when you're in a group. I mean, when you're in a group, sometimes that's what's kind of, held back.
Right.
But the leadership part is to first know your own direction.
Right.
And there's, no teacher-like experience for that.
Right.
And there's the part where you fall down and,
and you go, pick
yourself up in order to get to the place where you are in a good spot.
Right. And the speaking power, I remember for me, it took me a long time to be able to speak because I thought everybody knew how to speak. I don't.
You remember from when you were very young?
Yeah, when I was very young, that, I go, no, why should I shouldn't speak because everybody, will know how to speak. I wouldn't. And when I started speaking, I go, as I start growing, right, I realized it's not, all of us will make mistake. Making mistake does not mean that you don't know how to speak. I think I was more worried of me making mistake and people laughing at me, thinking that, what I'm going to say wouldn't be important.
And it's not important. Yeah.
Right.
And we don't need that or whatever.
Right. Then I started, as I'm growing, I go, okay, I can speak. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Be good to yourself and to others. And I'll see you next time on the podcast.